Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Good evening.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Is that Vincent Price? Good evening.
Bela Lugosi, I think.
Yeah. Well. At any rate, welcome to episode 42 of the Play It By Ear podcast, our first episode of 2021. Mr. Liming, welcome.
Hello.
Mr. Griffin, welcome to you as well, or is that Andy Dalton?
Howdy, howdy. Wish I had his money.
His monies.
Yes, sir. All right. Want to invite you to visit our website, www.playitbyearpodcast. You will see it up there as we go throughout the show. I guess my finger cannot go outside of my realm here.
Well, we have to get it together. I can do the www play.
Yes.
And then you can take over.
Your podcast.
I can't go like it's opposite. It's kind of like backing up a boat.
I was going to say, your finger's looking pretty scary right there.
Put it back up there. You got a Larry Bird finger?
Yeah. He's got all the way in the camera.
Oh, yeah, it's not quite a Larry Bird finger. It's a little crooked.
Yeah, slightly to the right.
All right. Well, welcome all. I see 10 people in the room, so
Sweet.
Please sign in, as they say on What's My Line. Howard William says it is Bela Lugosi. Good evening, creatures of the night. Good evening.
Good evening. I want to suck your blood.
What'd you say?
I want to suck your blood.
Oh, that's not what I did.
That is the worst vampire sound or impersonation I've ever heard.
That's pretty bad. And when I heard F, I didn't. That's not what I thought I heard. So
Hey, now.
I was a family show.
It was a V. It was a hard V.
A hard V. No. Moving on. All right. So if you've not been here before, our show consists of 3 topics that we all bring to the table. We talk 20 minutes on each, and we are in the order that we are on the screen here. So Brady will start us off. Todd will be in the middle segment, and I will round us out today. So hopefully you enjoy what we have to offer here once again, and I'm going to keep showing people that are in the room. Good evening, Mr. Michael. Welcome. And there are 20 other people or 18 other people in the room that I haven't introduced. So if you want to sign in, we'll make your presence be known. All right, Mr. Liming, you're up.
Thank you. In honor of the new year, kicking off the year 2021, it got me to thinking 2021 sounds very futuristic. And it got me to thinking, it's 2021. What did they say 2021 was going to be like back in the day? So we're going to find out what predictions were made back in the 60s and back in the 20s about the year 2021, and we're going to see what they got right and what they missed completely. Are we intrigued?
Oh, we're very intrigued.
Bated breath.
Intrigue, Ed.
All right. So are you ready for the first prediction?
Yep, Let's hear it.
Okay, this one comes from 1960s. U.S., let's see, what was the magazine? I think it was like one of those former magazines like U.S. World Report, the ones that were popular that are no longer around. But Here is the first prediction. Live-in apes will clean our houses and take care of our gardening.
Did you say apes?
I said apes, or as
in Planet of the...
Or as in Charlton Heston would say, you damn dirty ape. But these are live-in apes. These are clean apes. And they were live-in. And it says, while the idea of having a live-in maid, let alone a personal gardener, is a luxury few of us dream of, it was once believed that apes would fill these roles for families and would be a common sight in neighborhoods nationwide. In 1967, The Futurist, a magazine, said that by the year 2000 and by 2020, it will be possible to breed intelligent primates to do gardening and housework.
Interesting. Now I bring up Planet of the Apes. That's not the way that movie went. That movie
No.
went the total opposite direction. So
Yes.
maybe that prediction was brought on by the Planet of the Apes movie.
What year was this prediction?
In the 1967 newsletter from The Futurist.
What
That
year
was
was
around
the
about
Planet?
the time of the
Yeah.
Planet of
What
the
year
Apes,
was the
wasn't
Planet of the Apes? Anybody know that out there?
I
William.
not off the top of my head, but you know, on the bright side, it's still kind of icky to me because I like to think of animals as our friends, as having them as indentured servitude. Still, doesn't, because it's quite the opposite. The pets usually rule us. But the downside, you don't have to pay anybody. Excuse me, the upside, you don't have to pay anybody. The downside, there will be poop throwing if they are angered.
Which they would have to clean up, right, since they're doing the housework.
That's true.
Is it frozen poop? Frozen?
Frozen poop. But unfortunately, I think this would be banana-laden nastiness.
Alex says 1968 he believes.
Yes. In keeping with that theme, and I promise this is the last ape-centric one, you could tell this was in the national, conscious. Apes will make perfect chauffeurs and reduce the number of car accidents. So the futurist in 1967 was all about the primates.
Why do you believe that is? I think it has to go back to the movie, or maybe, of course, this was a year before the movie, right? If it was 1968.
But I'm sure it was based on something. It was in the national consciousness. You could tell that it was just there. It was lurking. There's a reason the movies and these were made. Probably because Coco was doing sign language back then.
Well, that could be. Could be a Jane Goodall thing.
Yes.
All right. Josh says his prediction was that he was going to have an app that he used to start his Roomba. Now, did you predict that in high school, Joe? Yeah,
He has an app.
He has an app.
Is he
did
saying
you predict?
I have?
He says he has an app currently, so as I do too. But did you predict that in high school, Josh? That's a question.
See, I think he spelled it wrong. I think he was trying to say he has an ape that will start his Roomba.
He could be.
So, all right. Number 3, roadways will be replaced, but with pneumatic tubes. In Popular Mechanics in 1957, they said by 2020 and 2021, roads and streets will be replaced by a network of pneumatic tubes like at your bank, except with you in it, which sounds pretty cool to me. That was very good, Eric. It almost made me look for a deposit. Though it is far from being a reality yet, Tesla and SpaceX has a Hyperloop, which is pretty close for this description that they're working on, a mass transit.
Two of me?
That was our prediction. There would be 2 of Todd in this show.
He's cloned. Now clean my room, Todd.
Now we're out of order.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Now watch this, everybody. We got to put ourselves back in order.
There we go.
There we go. I was going to get to say, Todd, you're out of order. And mean it.
I keep locking up.
So what do you guys think? Now, see, I'm geeking myself out here. I had a comic book that I really liked and an action figure set, the Micronauts. In one of the Micronaut play sets, which I didn't get, it was way too expensive. It was like pneumatic tubes. You put them in the little cars, and the air would suck them around. Like.
Wait a minute.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, pneumatic tubes. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if you just jump in a tube and be like taken to like downtown Cincinnati.
That'd be like a roller coaster, and I don't know that my stomach would accept that.
What is your rule, Eric, about roller coasters?
Well, as long as the pneumatic tube doesn't put my rear end above my head, I'd be okay with it. It's
You would be
just
fine.
The speed of the situation.
Now, number 4, we'll all own our personal helicopters. In 1951, Popular Mechanics suggested that we'll all have our personal helicopters. Now, being a guy that likes to fly, I like planes. I like being up there. It's cool. I took one helicopter trip, and it made me nervous. So I would rather have my own private plane than a helicopter.
Why were you nervous?
It felt weird. Like I said, it was just a different feeling, and it just made me a little bit nervous. Which, speaking of a personal helicopter, I got to throw this out there. Somebody on Purdy Road outside of Sardinia Sardinia, Ohio. I drive by it to my mother's house. There's somebody does have a personal helicopter out there. It looks like it was made from a Boy's Life ad. But like I said, you would never find my Tuchus inside of that thing. But it is a personal made helicopter kit. And I would love it's just been sitting in the front.
Oh, this is a good point right here. Most of us do have our personal helicopters with their drones.
That is an excellent point, sir.
But I don't think a drone is going to haul my rear end up in the air.
The problem with that prediction is that it assumes wrongly, I might add, that a majority of people would even be interested in having their own helicopter. If there's no demand, there would be no reason for that invention to even take off. And I would say there's lots of people who would not want their own private helicopter. Yeah.
Well, here's what this guy said why he predicted helicopters. This is popular science, so it's going to be one of those guys. So it had Thomas Stimson Jr. of Popular Mechanics wrote, "It has no carburetor to ice up, no ignition system to fall apart or misfire. Instead, quiet, efficient ramjets keep the rotors moving, burning any kind of fuel from a dime a gallon stove oil to kerosene. Best of all, it was priced about $5,000, 1/5 of the cost of an ordinary helicopter."
Oh, wait a minute. I'm doing the show from my helicopter.
That was great.
And that was much better than Brady's vampire impersonation.
Thank you.
Only the best for our listeners. Only the best.
Shout out to Les Nessman.
Yes.
So, again, though, wouldn't everyone also have to have training and education and licensure? And
it's the 60s. Have you seen the Woodstock video? Nobody had training.
No, it's not the 60s, though. It's the 2000. He said by 2021.
Well, that's true.
Now, I've kept this comment up here from Stephanie. She says Red Jones. I'm assuming she's saying Red Jones owns the helicopter? I don't know. But
on Purdy Road, there's two surprises. A, that Red Jones, and I didn't know Red Jones lived on Purdy Road. A blast from the past there.
Yeah.
So,
and Sarah has seen it also and wondered who hasn't and if it works.
And Sarah will attest. I'm serious. I'm an adventurous guy, but there is no way I would get up in the air in that thing. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say it looks like it was put together by a Boys Life magazine kid.
That's what I mean. I hope Red Jones, I don't mean to be insulting, but it is the moped of helicopters.
Hey.
Sorry.
Don't be
dissing the moped. Moped.
Well, hang on a minute here.
Moped. So,
Eric, did you own a moped?
I resemble that remark.
Were you a moped owner?
I was humming down the streets of Brown County at 14 years old on my moped.
And it was a Swedish-made moped called a Puch, P-U-C-H. He had a pea green Puch.
It was Puch, not puke.
Oh, anyway. So, but yeah, so any of our listeners out there, if you, and this is a subject that I bring up frequently, I just never brought it up on the air. I've always wondered about the helicopter. So if anybody could shed some light on that, and maybe for a good donation to my insurance fund, I would go up in it.
But there's a joke there. I just can't find it.
Yeah. It's hanging there somewhere.
Your wheels were turning too, Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
His rotor was rotating.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, number 5. No one will ever have to clear a dinner table again. Popular Mechanics says and it's their word, a smart table capable of clearing itself. Dining group tables will quietly swallow dishes after a meal and transfer them to the dishwasher, which will clean the dishes, dispose the garbage, and stack and store them for the next mealtime.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now wait, go back for a moment there. What year was that?
This was predicted in 1967 in Popular Mechanics.
Okay, now wait a minute. So the same magazine. No, wait a minute. The other magazine was Futurist, right?
Yeah.
So the Futurists are saying I'm going to have smart simians to do my work, and Popular Mechanics is going to say my table's going to do its own work.
That's after the apes had thrown enough poop and revolted. So they had to replace it with something.
So we have some more input on the helicopter. Adam says he does not believe that it is the previously mentioned owner. The one on
Rojo Unis.
Hasn't moved in a long time. So
much like every moped on Earth right now hasn't moved in a long time.
Well, I don't know. If you go to some random Western European country, I'm sure you see plenty of them.
Yeah, what are those things? What are the
Vespas?
Vespas, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. So, Eric, you didn't have a Vespa, you had a Buick?
I had a Puke. Puke.
So if Buick bought it, it would be a Buick.
Are you sure it wasn't a Fuke?
Was not a Fuke.
He didn't get one.
I ride a Puke and I don't give up. No.
Howard had a Vespa until his dad crashed it.
That sounds like a movie title, When Dad Crashed My Vespa. All right. And speaking of something you don't want to think about your father doing, in the New York Times, and I'm trying to find the year for this, and I can't, I'm assuming it's the 60s because it's the same article, I'm not making this up to be funny. Will eat candy made of underwear. Shall I read?
Please do. I can't wait.
One of the oddest and least appealing prognostications came from the New York Times, which explains a lot. The science editor of Valdemar Kampfert,
Valdemar
Kampfert, who wrote
like a character in Shrek.
Or Harry Potter. It's Valdemar Kampfert. Kampfert. That sounds like they consume too many legumes around the fire. But anyway.
That's what I was going to say. Smells like smoke.
But Valdemar here wrote an article for Popular Mechanics in which he had some strange predictions about our culinary future. Cooking is an art only in memory in the minds of old people. A few diehards still broil a chicken or roast a leg of lamb, but the experts have developed ways to keep deep freezing partially baked cuts of meat, even soup and milk. But that wasn't the grossest part. He claimed that it would allow us to supplement our food with new ways. The sawdust and the wood pulp would be converted into sugary foods, and discarded paper, linen, and rayon underwear can be converted to candy. No, thank you.
So would there be...
I know what you're thinking. Hopefully.
Yeah, well, now David calls those edible panties.
Super Dave in the house.
Yes.
Yeah, not like those gag gifts at Spencer's.
Just,
pretty much. Howard beat you the punch.
Yeah. Yep. And I think it's basically a fruit roll-up legs.
I was going to say, anyone who buys a box of fruit roll-ups automatically has emergency underwear if you're camping.
For those of you on audio, Mr. Josh Michael brought the house down with that comment.
Actually, I was laughing at Todd, but Josh's comment's pretty funny,
yes,
too.
Brady, don't take my bringing down the house and give it to Josh, although his comment's very funny. I have a question, though. I have a question. Because I've played the Bean Boozled. I'm trying to remember if the game I played had the underwear flavor, but I'm just trying to wonder. I dare I ask what the underwear flavor tastes like?
How does one know what underwear tastes like unless one has partaken?
I'm assuming
underwear.
It's just like fresh cotton, kind of like you have a fresh cotton scented car freshener or something, or a candle that's fresh cotton. I'm assuming you're just, that's what Bean Boozled jelly bean tastes like.
Yeah, that's not a pleasant thought. So here's one that gives us hope. Moving along from underwear, the American work week will be 26 hours long, according the average American work week of 34.4 hours a week. That was the most recent, but it might be a surprise that Herman Kahn, the futurist, in 1968 predicted because of mechanization, the average American work week will be 26 hours.
Interesting.
And to punctuate that, I got to do this quickly because it coincides. But anyway, we won't have to work because in 1966, Time magazine had an article called The Futurist that said because machines would be doing all the work, no one would need to work at all, and we would be independently wealthy with government benefits, and even non-working families would have a $40,000 income.
$40,000. Of course, that was in 1960. What?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Which is probably twice that.
Oh,
if not
it actually
more.
says that. It says that works out to be $240,000 in today's money.
Well, much more than twice that then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, this is going to sound like sacrilege, and I like leisure as much as anybody, but man, if nobody worked, I think everybody would go nuts.
Well, I mean, the pandemic is,
Oh, yeah.
example of that. I mean, people became much more depressed in things due to being in
useless
the house all the time.
Vestigial.
Vestige, yes. Thank you.
And here's one that I think we could kind of get around, and I honestly don't think we're too far from this. We'll all live to be at least 100 years old. Futurist Ray Kurzweil even published in 1999 in nonfiction that by the 21st century, AR and smart devices and wearables will increase our health. And get this prediction: computerized health monitors built into watches and jewelry will diagnose acute and chronic health conditions and monitor our hearts. Yep. There you go.
There
in
it
our
is.
sleep.
I can do an ECG on my watch. I can tell
Very
what my
cool.
heart rhythm is. On
Then
my
you can
watch.
send it. Then you can send it to the doc.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
that is amazing. That was a pretty good prediction. And hearing and vision impairments won't be a problem. Ways will be found to transmit information to the brain and avoid the damaged organs, like inner ears and
Right.
the optic nerve and things like that. Which I still think one of the coolest things is that pair of glasses that helps people with colorblind to see in that moment that they see through it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is cool. Yep.
Now, this is probably the most futuristic. Houses will fly and be able to relocate themselves. In other words, trailers. To fly.
But I don't. Some of these predictions, like in that one, what benefit would that serve? What purpose would that serve?
You would only have to buy land and not a house if you moved, all right?
Yeah, just you wouldn't have to get the movers. The house is the mover.
I suspect that's also. I mean, like it would also depend on why you're moving. If you're being forced to move, if you're moving because of your job or something like that, and you do not want to leave your house, you have to. But otherwise, most people move to no longer be in the house that they're in. So
I think in the 1960s, think about the movement. People were fleeing the Rust Belt and heading south into different places. And I think because we were a very mobile society, like economically, then
People
that probably was appealing. Yeah.
yeah.
The alphabet will be reduced to 23 letters because who needs C, X, or Q?
Is that for real?
That's for real. In 1900, John Elfrith Watkins Jr., the curator of mechanical technology at Smithsonian, wrote in Ladies' Home Journal that there will be no C, X, or Q in our everyday alphabet. They will be abandoned because they're unnecessary, which they, quote, try telling Xerox that.
Well, a C, obviously your soft C is an S sound and your hard C is a K sound, but I can't think of another way to get the CH, like the word chew. I mean, I don't know what you would use instead of a C.
TI.
Because I was getting ready to say, I could see that
Q.
because again, your main C sounds are S and K, but again, you don't get your.
So now wait a minute. You said what letters?
C. Oh, excuse me. X, C, and Q.
You don't need a Q because a K would take care of anything that starts with a Q.
So then I would have to change the spelling of my name?
No, you would
Yes,
just
you have to put a K in.
ARIK.
Yeah.
But
I
you
don't
know
wanna
what?
do
I've
that.
actually seen.
You have to now.
Now.
While you're at it, change that A to an E.
Yeah, people do that anyway.
Yeah.
I've actually seen there was a football player I saw over the weekend during bowl week. His name was Eric ARIQ. So he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, the quarterback at University of Miami is D. Eric with ERIQ.
Yeah.
Not the Eric, D. Eric.
Derek, yeah.
Again, C was the only one but I challenged him to tell me how they're going to spell the word chew or chunks.
I've got it. Tioew. Chew.
Chunks. Then
Tiunks. Chunks.
So Howard brings up a good point. People retire and live in RVs traveling the country, so we kind of already have the mobile house thing. And Josh says the small house movement isn't too far off.
True.
Yeah, it's true. And number 14, I could just go over quickly. It's the last one on the list, and it just stands on its own. Stands on its own. You'll see what I did there in a second. Humans will become a one-toed species.
Ah.
It says that...
Hang on one second. Go ahead, sorry.
It says that... Oh, go ahead.
Well, you'll probably answer... I'll let you read first because you'll probably answer my question.
During a lecture in 1911, the Royal College of Surgeons in England said human beings in the future will become one-toed. The small toes are useless, and as time goes on, we will not use them very much. Ultimately, man will develop into a one-toed race.
So then it doesn't mean that we each get one toad to own, like as in a frog. So it means that...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because a one-toed race. I just thought maybe that everybody owned a toad.
I had this visual of this one giant. You don't even have a foot anymore. It just looks like a giant big toe with a hubcap nail.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is does your foot it become or does your foot increase in size or decrease? Sorry, decrease in girth. And become the size of a toe. So does your foot become a regular sized toe, or do your toes mold into one giant foot sized digit?
What I'm envisioning, if I could get the camera, if you could imagine the way my thumb is right here, I think that's what your foot will turn into look like. It'll look like a giant thumb on the end of your thumb.
So why would that be considered a one toe? Why would not that be considered one foot? With no toes.
Because it has a nail.
You'll have to ask Dr. What's-His-Face and the Royal College of Surgeons in 1911.
Good Lord, if you had a toe that big, it'd take a vise and a grinder to trim to get your toenails.
Like Dumb and Dumber when he's...
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
What would... shoes would still work the same.
Yeah.
Would they? Because
except for those ones that have the...
You wouldn't have an arch, would you? You just have a toe.
I'm assuming your foot is shaped the same way. It just goes out to a toe at the end, a rounded, a bulbous appendage.
Do you know what I would do? If I had a time machine and I knew this was going to happen, I would go in the future and buy tons of stock in Revlon and Clairol because ladies are going to have to buy toenail polish by the gallon.
That's true. Man, I couldn't imagine my dad growing up. He stubbed his toe every other day anyway. He would be stubbing that big...
Did you stub your foot again, Chuck?
And why... I bet people who are these... learned people think about things. I mean, why would you even come up with that? What took your thought process to, hey, we don't need all these other toes. We're just going to have this one big toe.
It's probably like the animal kingdom.
I could also go the other way with it. What would make you think that? And then I have somebody say, "Well, I disagree. I think we're going to end up with 10 toes on each foot. We're not going to lose toes. We're going to gain toes because we need more balance."
Exactly. We'd be much more balanced that way.
Yeah, like a toe, like a tripod, like a pigeon.
So Adam makes a rhyme here, which is true. You know, you buy stock in Crocs. No more flip flops. No more of those toe. What you call them?
Adidas slides would be the rule.
There you go. And Kyle says like an old school golf putter.
There you go.
Whatever works. And again, I don't know why someone's thought process, they don't have enough to think about if they're thinking about we're going to turn into one big toe.
I mean, I've seen it, these futurist articles come out every year, but I saw it just like last year where they think humans will, all their fingers are going to get smaller and will have super large thumbs. Because
and again, why? But
have you seen texting in video games?
That's not a bad point.
I've been working on a dad joke here. I don't have it perfected yet, but for time's sake, I would invest. If I were the van people, the shoe company, the Vans, I would come out with a line called the Trucks, and it would be the tow trucks.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes.
Little dad humor and some some entrepreneurship ideas for us in the future when we are one-toed.
If and this would toed, this would still be true to this day. It wouldn't just be when you were a unitoe, but if you were mowing barefoot, it would become a tow-away zone.
I feel like Lurch and the Addams Family. All right. I don't even know what to think about most of those things, and the whole ape thing. I don't even know. I have no words.
I think the thing I would be most excited about would be the pneumatic tubes. That would be fun.
So then all the grandpas out there could be saying, "You want to fight or run a tow race?"
So why would you turn into a one-toed being if? Why would you still have fingers?
You'll have to ask Doctor what's his name from.
Would they just evolve into a thumb,
or a wing, or a flipper?
Well, we would have to have at least one finger because opposable thumbs allow us to control the world.
So as I say, we'd have to have one finger because we drive.
How else we pick our nose?
That's a fact. These are.
Well, you could use your toe.
No, the apes will pick our nose for us.
If my toe were that big, it wouldn't fit up my nostril, would it?
That's true. You definitely have to work it from a difficult angle. Be easy.
Podiatrists would be out of business, wouldn't they, about?
Or would they?
Ooh, that's true.
I don't know what that means, but I wanted the dramatic.
Profound.
All right, so that is topic number one, and I don't know what Todd's topic is yet. We kind of touched upon the general gist of it, but I know my topic has to do with the future. So Brady's had to do with the past, so it's kind of a New Year's sort of theme here. So that's kind of what we're working on. But
well, I was going to say I didn't stick to the theme at all, but it's interesting because while we've said many times we don't rehearse and we don't tell each other what we're going to say. Often we will throw out our idea for a topic or whatever just to make sure that everybody's okay with it. And but I think this is the first episode maybe that I haven't known anybody's topic whatsoever until we got on here. I had no idea what Brady was going to say, and I don't know what yours is either. But
so this is grassroots, play it by ear. You're watching it as we speak.
All right.
Well, hold on. Go
ahead. I got
to do my little spiel here.
That's right.
Moving into topic number 2, before we do that, I want to let you know that you can go to our website, playitbyyourpodcast.com/support. If you'd like to support what we do financially, again, as I say every week here, there are a few expenses involved here. So if you like what we do and you join us every week, and I mean, we're not asking to break the bank, but if you have $1 or $5 or a whatever to pass along, we would certainly appreciate that, and helps us to keep on doing what we're doing. And again, you can go to playitbyyourpodcast.com/support. We want to thank our supporters, Joe Rocky, Christina Rocky, Chuck Griffin, and Jessica Longacre. All of them are monthly supporters of ours, so thanks to all. And again, if you'd like to join them, that is our website, playitbyyourpodcast.com/support.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So, Mr. Griffin, hold on before I go.
Griffin!
I do want to...
Thank you.
Lonnie doesn't know what he's watching, but he's entertained so far. That's what we're after. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody asked me the other day. Go ahead.
Howard says the merch is great, by the way. So
yeah, I was talking to someone the other day that didn't know we had a podcast and asked me what it was about. Have you had a hard time answering that when people ask you what our podcast is about?
I give the Seinfeld answer.
I was going to say it's exactly what I gave. I said it's about nothing, and I said that's the way we intend to keep it, and we hope people laugh. And
okay, Lonnie, I'm not going to read this, but I'm just going to leave it right there. I kind of goes along with the discussion of how the body may morph into different things in the future because of vestigial organs or whatever, but that is a true line of thinking right there. I don't know where Brady went off to, but he's off to the great beyond. I guess he'll be back.
He got his topic out of the way, and he's done.
I guess he's had enough. It looked like he tried to come back in.
He's going to go check and see if his toes are morphing into one giant.
Oh man, we don't want to get into Brady's toes. That's that's a whole 20-minute topic in and of itself. And if you know Brady, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, Todd, I guess.
So I'll go ahead and start. We can fill Brady in when he gets back on and joins us. But I am going back to the food topic tonight. We often is this him? That's him.
There he is.
It's me. Sorry about that. I think all those Eastern District students were sucking out the internet in the area. It just kind of went out on me.
Well, now we got to shift around again because we're out of order. Got to put ourselves under our own names. Now, before you go, Todd, I do want to bring some attention to this here. The Square Table Degenerates podcast. I was kind of talking back and forth on one of the podcast groups on Facebook that I'm on, and he says he loses many nights over the question, "What is your show about?" So they're kind of like us, and I listened. I was very entertained by it, and it just he described his show as guys just sitting around bullcrapping, which I said, hey, that's kind of what we are. So,
that's what we do.
Yeah. If you want
an excrement.
Yeah, there you go. So if you want to listen to Square Table Degenerates podcast, they're kind of like us. So same. Thanks.
I like it. I like
for
the name.
Watching us tonight. All right, Todd.
All right. So I have a list, and my list is I've seen this before in the past, but I hadn't really thought much about it. There goes Brady again. 25 awesome McDonald's dishes that you cannot buy in America. So this is, and maybe some of our listeners in other countries can chime in on this.
Well, looking at our stats, because we can see kind of where people are listening from all over the world through our podcast provider, and we've gotten a big bump from India. I put us on a podcast provider in India, and we've gotten a few listeners from there. So maybe if someone is listening from India, they can chime in on this.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of these things you'll be on your list are Indian, but
I don't know either. I didn't go down that far on the list, but keeping it organic. Number 1 on the list from the Netherlands, we have the Stroopwafel Mcflurry. Vanilla soft serve, Daleman's Stroopwafel crispy caramel waffle cone cookie pieces, and caramel swirl. Now that doesn't sound like there's any reason at all why we couldn't have that over here.
Exactly. I'm wondering why.
Yeah, it's.
I don't want to sound like I'm full of it. I swear I have.
You've had that, you think?
I don't. Brady's going real slow.
Yes.
I
moving right
along.
So,
Go ahead, Todd.
All right, number 2. In Italy, you can go to McDonald's and get yourself an order of slice chips, which are similar. Basically, it says fried, spiced. Here's the thing, though: scalloped potatoes. Now, if you were to see the picture,
not au gratin potatoes,
or nothing. The only thing I can think of is they literally look like chips, like they have the lines in them, the grooves.
Right.
So I don't know if that's why they're calling them scalloped, but otherwise it's just it looks just like the thing the fries come in, but it's a chip shape. They look seasoned. They look good, but I would not call them scalloped potatoes. You have to eat you need a fork if you're eating actual scalloped potatoes.
Interesting.
And they need cheese on them.
It's true.
Yes. Couple things now that the first thing you said, the Stroopwafel Mcflurry, whatever you said, they, and I don't know which of the hosts it is, but they said they had a special offer McFlurry a couple years ago, and Brady's shaking his head. That must have been what he was referring to. That,
makes sense.
It was.
Yeah, it did seem like that one was the most real. I mean, no reason why they wouldn't have that at any McDonald's, but some of these other ones are definitely not something.
And I'm going to put this up on the screen. Never tell him that. Never tell him he's right.
I will get power mad.
Yes.
Number 3 in Morocco.
Right.
Cheese croquettes. Melted cheese and bits of pepper, breaded and deep fried. They're just like cheese balls with it looks like some sort of sauce to dip them in. They look like smooth donut holes. That's just to give you a visual, like smooth donut holes, but they are filled with melted cheese, bits of pepper, and they are breaded and deep fried.
That sounds pretty good.
So what is the sauce?
I can't tell. It doesn't say what the sauce is. There's not enough information, but it looks to be something thick and yellowish. It has some parsley or something sprinkled on top of it. What I'm saying is it's not like a ketchup, or it's not like it's nothing that, it almost looks more like, it looks like a butter. It looks like just a thing of butter, but I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's, whatever would go good with that in Morocco.
I cannot hide my disgust.
Yes, Lonnie Brady, Sardinia Internet really is shining tonight.
Number 4.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, Disa said that's what she said.
Number 4, croque brie.
Croque brie?
Yes. In Italy, by the way.
Is that foot cheese from a crock?
It could be. Crispy triangles filled with slightly melted brie cheese.
Interesting.
It literally looks like a cheese stick, except it's triangle. It's triangular.
Okay. Now I've not heard anything that violates my food rules yet. Now Brady's food rules are much more stringent than mine, and you can tell by the faces he's making in slow motion.
Except for the Moroccan gunk.
That's for drama purposes. There's been nothing here that would go against Brady. You don't like fried cheese?
I think it was just a description that it's thick and yellowish.
No, that's
the
sauce.
Here's what Brady does. Brady will get cheese sticks, and he will remove the breading. Who in God's earth removes the breading? Yes, I've seen you do it.
It's because it's the handle.
No, not me.
It's been soiled. It's been tampered with.
Soiled? No, I'm here to tell you. No, that's my favorite part. I like the breading. That would not be me.
Brady,
not guilty.
That's what the cheese croquettes look like. They're just cheese balls. They're just like fried cheese balls.
Oh, the croquettes, okay. It's that the phlegm sauce that's with it.
Yeah, well, you don't have to dip them in that.
Phlegm sauce.
I shan't.
Number 5. The Grand Mcextreme Bacon Burger in Spain. Applewood.
Not a Mac. A Mick.
Grand.
Not a Mac.
Grand. Well, Mac. It's. I would say McExtreme Bacon Burger.
Okay.
But how have they had bacon? I mean, it's Applewood smoked bacon, quarter-pound beef patty, smoky McBacon sauce, 2 slices of savory Rio Gouda cheese, and a sesame seed bun. I'm all over that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And again, I'm with that like the other thing. Why can't we have that here?
No reason.
Nothing special.
Right. Is it served like with the side of paella or something?
It doesn't say that, but yeah, that's very odd.
It does sound good. Now, Disa asked, do you take the breading off a corn dog? I believe.
No.
Brady?
Yes.
I'm not sure about that. I think I've seen that too. And corn dogs actually have a dedicated handle. So there'd be no reason.
They do.
Not mini corn dogs. Miniature corn dogs.
Maze K9 is okay.
A maze pooch.
There's another one for the ism.
In Australia, you can go get... Here's another one, Eric. This is the theme of this whole list. Cheesy bacon fries. Well, you can get those anywhere. Premium potato fries, cheddar cheese sauce, and chopped applewood smoked bacon. Again, no reason why we don't have that at our McDonald's.
Maybe it's smoked on the bobby.
Could be.
And I'll bet every Australian
bits of dingo meat
hates it when Americans do that.
I bet they do too.
That's not applewood smoked bacon. It's dingo meat.
Maybe the dingo got your corn dog.
Now, in Canada, number 7 on our list, tomato mozzarella chicken sandwich. Canadian grain-fed seasoned chicken breasts, red onions, lettuce, tomato, mozzarella, and a tomato and herb sauce on a brioche-style bun, available grilled or crispy. Nothing really out of the,
That's all I keep saying. Interesting.
It seems like a lot of these on the list are featured at other restaurants than McDonald's. Lots of places have cheese fries. Number 8. In France, you can go to McDonald's and get chocolate mousse. Chocolate mousse. A chocolatey dessert that comes in milk, white, and dark chocolate.
Milt?
Did
you say milt?
I said milt, white, and dark chocolate.
Not milt chocolate, right?
Just be
milt, not milt chocolate. Milt. Yeah, I guess it would be milt. Yeah, milt, white, and dark chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all three variations of chocolate.
Chocolate, yes.
A milt mousse. I don't know what I think of that.
Milt mousse. Milt mousse. I love saying it.
Number 9. This is the first one that I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing. It's in Spain. Coulant Nocilla. Coulant Nocilla. Coulant Nocilla.
Nokia.
The L's will be even the dessert in Spanish McDonald's looks delicious. It's a single-serving chocolate cake filled with Nokia, a chocolate hazelnut spread similar to Nutella.
Not a big hazelnut guy.
Really?
It's okay. I've had it overpowering too. I've had like some hazelnut candies that are okay and some that are just like foul.
I like a waffle with a thin sheen of Nutella on top, a drop of it on top of it, spread thin, and then another sheen of peanut butter, and then a third sheen of syrup.
And a shingle of chocolate.
When I eat that, I get 3 sheens to the wind.
Yes.
All right, we have some comments here.
I bet we do.
It says, Square Table Degenerates has been to the McDonald's in Spain. Not that impressive. Was there in 06? I don't know. We've been through several McDonald's in Spain things. I know he was talking about one of the earlier ones, but I don't know if you remembered any of the other ones. Jim says everything's better with bacon, which for the most part is true. Howard says Smokey McBacon sounds like a country singer. Yeah. Yes.
With Buck Owens.
Marilyn is all about the Spanish McDonald's. She's in. Passport ready. And Howard, don't want to know nothing about your dingo meat. That would be an Australian hot dog.
It might have eaten the baby. That's the only problem.
And STD says, you've said Sheen so many times, I'm going to watch Major League.
Nice.
Nicely played.
Nicely played.
Which Major League? The first one, the second one?
Is that even a question?
The second one's good. The second one's good.
The second one's not bad. The second one's not near the first one, and don't even talk to me about Back to the Miners. That
has Scott Bakula, a.k.a. the guitar player for REO Speedwagon, in it.
Exactly. That's why you're not talking about Back to the Miners. That's poppycock.
That's not Scott Bakula's best work?
Horse feathers.
That's barely Scott Bakula's worst work. I don't even know.
No idea what that means.
I don't even know what that means either. But it's bad.
I think you should have said maybe that was barely work. Is maybe what you could have said.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
But my big complaint about that. I've complained about it before, maybe even on this episode.
Thank you, STD. He's from Cleveland. Part 3, sacrilege. Enough said.
Definitely not good, but I like Scott Bakula. So
of course, then again, it was not set in Cleveland though. Part 3 was. I don't know where it was. I can't remember where it was set. It wasn't Cleveland.
It was a quantum leap away from the first one.
Up your butt, Joe Boo. I think my one complaint though, I've voiced it to you guys before, but the preview when the first Major League came out, there's a preview, and it said they were talking, and it says something about that ball wouldn't have made it out of most parks, and one of them says name one, and he says Yellowstone, and they laugh about it. It was not in the movie.
Not in the movie.
But then they put it in the second movie. They were sitting around the table talking about it. That was an odd bit of editing.
And STD also, the Indians never won the World Series in that movie trilogy. Now we don't know about the first one. It kind of leaves off in that one game playoff thing, so we don't even get to the full playoffs, and they may have won the World Series. I kind of like to think they did. That in my alternate universe, the Indians won the World Series and Major League One. Now I don't know. I can't remember if it kind of insinuates in Major League 2 if they did or didn't, or doesn't even mention it. But they all seem to be much more, stuck on themselves in part 2. It makes me think they did fairly well. So again.
Number 10, if you go to Germany, you can get a bread basket with Nutella, butter, and jam.
Nice.
Breakfast patrons can order the classic breakfast and dine on an array of Kaiser rolls with Nutella, margarine, butter, honey, cream, cheese, strawberry jam, apricot, raspberry, or sugar-free cherry jam to spread on.
Spread on.
That seems a bit. How do I say it? It seems a bit above McDonald's. That you would go and get a nice variety of breads in a basket. That seems to be more of a Bob Evans or a, more of a sit-down style.
Are they sesame seed buns that you get in the basket?
Robert Evans.
From the picture, there's no sesame seed, but there is it looks like a bun with, well, no, never mind. That's just the natural shape of the bun. I thought I had an M on the top of it.
That would have been classy.
Yeah, that would be. Number 11, also in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Spain, in Austria, in Switzerland, and other select locations, you can get a McBeer.
McBeer.
A McBeer. I'm surprised that they don't do that in the United States.
As am I. That would be a great moneymaker.
You could go with a McBeer McFlurry.
Ew.
After everybody sat around and had a few rounds, everybody be going, rubble, rubble, rubble. With a grimace on their face.
Number 12, a Nürnberger.
A Nuremberger?
A Nuremberger. A Nurem.
That must be Germany.
It is German. A Nurem. That's hard. That's not even comfortable to say.
Did you say a urine burger?
A Nurem. You got to get the in. Nurem. Get the in. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Nuremberger.
Are you the freaking Swedish chef or what?
The Nuremberger. How do you order that? I'll take 2 Nurembergers. The Nuremberger. Gosh, that is vibrating my upper face, and I don't like saying that word. Nuremberger. Not comfortable. Glad I'm not German.
The Germans are glad you're not German either.
3 German bratwurst inside a large, soft roll with mustard.
Well,
you guys. Don't be knocking the Nuremberger.
And once again, your first reminder of our weekly reminder, yes, we are 12 years old.
Yes. You guys are knockers. It looks good, but I'm going to tell you what it looks like from the picture. I don't know if I can't. It looks like you went to the Frisch's breakfast bar and you pocketed 3 sausage links.
Is that a sausage link in your pocket?
Yeah. Is that 3 sausage links in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? And then you just take it and you stick it in a soft roll.
As you would.
Yes.
So
anyway,
Joe says that sounds derogatory. Eric, you're such a Nuremberger.
you're a Nuremberger handle.
Nuremberger handle.
We'd have to try it. Would it be the Nuremberger trials?
All right, number 13. Oh, sorry, we got more.
Yeah, the Cracker Barrel now
Nice.
sells beer and wine. I didn't know that.
No.
I was just at Cracker Barrel a couple weeks ago.
I bet they don't sell urine.
I'm an ignoramus.
Now, Derek, I believe, has lived in Germany, and I guess he's had the Nuremberg.
Am I saying that right at all, Derek? I'm sure I'm not. Nuremberger? Nurn?
I don't know how he would. Now, Derek, I could give you the link, and you could come on and tell us how to say Nuremberger.
Well, you could just say yes or no.
Well, if he says no, how would you?
9.
That's all I need to know.
Yes, he would say 9. That's why you say 9.
Yeah, that's what I said. It looks very good, but it looks more like a breakfast sandwich. Is that when you get it? Or I'm sure that Nurns is it. So what is a Nurn?
I would say wieners could be eaten for any meal in Germany.
And schnitzels.
Nurn.
Derek says 9.
Negative. Okay.
Negative.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up later and see how to say it, because it's literally N-U-R-N. So I don't know how you would. I don't know what a Nurn is, but either way, it's a tasty looking sandwich. 13, spicy paneer wrap. India. Eric.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. A sandwich made of veggies and deep fried paneer cheese. I don't know what paneer cheese. I don't know what paneer is.
I've never had that one.
I've sampled a lot of cheese in my life, but I've never eaten paneer cheese.
Maybe it comes from the milk of a paneer.
What is a paneer?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Brady, I figured it was. I figured you're the marmoset master. I figured it was it's like saying urn with an N in front of it.
Not
It sounds like
Nern.
Nern.
Yeah,
Nern. Nurnberger.
Nuremberger.
Interesting. Nurnberger.
Well done, Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
Good explanation.
14. Spicy habanero McChicken in Canada. Breaded seasoned chicken, shredded lettuce, spicy habanero sauce, made with chili pepper, sourced from the northern part of South America.
God, I was going to say, because nothing says, Canada like habanero.
Euro.
Moving right along. 15. A McFalafel. That has way too many syllables in it. A McFalafel. Israel, obviously. Falafel, which is chickpea fritters. Chickpea fritters. You got those chickpea fritters. That good Israeli delicacy with lots of crunch.
You sound like a Norwegian death metal band when you watch.
It harkens back to the cereal episode where you guys had never heard of the Crispy Critters theme song.
I thought you were having a grand mal or something.
No, I was reading chickpea fritters. I'm like, why does that sound so familiar? Oh, Crispy Critters. It's a perfect rhyme. Anyway, this falafel has tomatoes, cucumber, and cheese, topped with tahini and wrapped in laffa bread.
Laffa?
Laffa. It looks like a paper towel. Oh, that's the outer layer. Okay, I see the laffa bread now. Brady, you would not be happy. It has a sauce on it.
Oh.
It has a cream sauce on it. Number 16 in the UK, bacon roll. A simple sandwich of bacon on a crispy roll topped with Heinz tomato ketchup. Good thing it wasn't Hunt's or Red Gold.
Yeah, we can't have that.
Yes, or brown sauce. Who's gonna say? Could you hold the ketchup? Put extra brown sauce on that bacon roll, please.
I thought brown sauce came after the consumption of sandwich.
God. Oh.
That's the
that's
the
just
crispy
crabs.
falafel. You know, though, when they first started making ketchup, they made ketchup out of like fish sauce and stuff like that.
Didn't we talk about that in one episode?
We might have.
Very
17.
good.
Italy, spinach and Parmesan nuggets, and they look absolutely terrible. Soft nuggets of spinach and melted Parmesan cheese covered in a crispy breading. I'll go a little quicker here. 18. You would think it would be a mik kebab, but it's kebab. In Israel, lamb kebab on flatbread. 19. McDonald's Hawaiian Deluxe breakfast. Now we're talking. Hawaii doesn't count quite as international in relation to the U.S., but they do have some menu items that the mainland does not. The Hawaiian Deluxe breakfast consists of Spam.
Yes.
Eggs.
Spam?
Rice. Hash browns. Says Spam again, so maybe you get two helpings of Spam.
Spam, all right.
If they're out of Spam, they could always substitute treat. And toast.
And
That
sneak.
sounds good except for the rice.
Where's the poi?
That sounds good except for the rice. Like I said,
You're not
I
a rice
don't mind
guy?
some eggs and Spam.
Spam?
And spam. Spam, eggs, and spam.
20, in Morocco, the Arabia. 2 grilled kofta, or patties, tahini sauce, lettuce, and tomatoes, and flatbread. Number 21, Thailand.
Can I insert something? That's the second one we've had from Morocco. I had no idea that McDonald's was a big deal in Morocco.
Oh, McDonald's is a big
That
deal
just sounds
everywhere.
odd to me.
The samurai pork burger. A pork patty. A pork patty. That's just
that
fun to
just-
say.
is
Gotta
that
wipe the spit
Japan?
off your microphone on that one. That's a good way to check your microphones. Pork patty. Am I popping? Marinated in teriyaki sauce and topped with peppers and mayo and lettuce.
About a nice, juicy piece of pork.
A pork patty pepper.
Pork?
In Turkey, the Turkish breakfast plate. This uncharacteristically wholesome breakfast plate is comprised of English muffins, eggs, feta, cucumbers, and olives.
Ugh.
This literally just looks like something that you would just throw on a plate out of your refrigerator. Like,
Just
there's
dump out
nothing
the containers
McDonald's-y
onto a
about
plate.
that.
I was gonna say it's not in a
23.
it's not in a cardboard box. How can that be McDonald's?
Another German one here. McCurrywurst. a pork sausage topped with spicy tomato sauce and served with curry seasoning packets, mild or hot. Fancy. They give you packets of the curry seasoning.
Yeah.
Only one more here. 2 more. 24 in Canada and select markets in the U.S. It's now discontinued. It says the McLobster Roll. The McLobster is the lobster meat, mayo, and lettuce stuffed inside a hot dog bun.
Also
Yeah.
served in
we
Maine,
go.
according to Stephanie.
Yes. Do they still do that? I don't know when this was written, so maybe.
Isn't it like not really real lobster? There's like this generic lobster called like a D'Agostino lobster, which is
We're not
really
going to have
kind
that
of a
conversation
weird
again,
shrimp.
are we? Eric's going to. It says it has. What did you say was in fake crab, Eric? Or crab rangoon or something? I forget what it was. We need to go back to an older
Imitation
episode.
crab.
It was
Imitation
some sort
crab.
some sort of fish. Fish.
Well, yeah, the
Fish.
critter, it's a crustacean, but it's not. But it's like it's this kind of lobster is to real lobster as ramen noodles is to proper noodles. It's like the bottom shelf lobster.
Really? Yeah, I've seen where they sell like lobster sticks and things like that in gas stations. I'm not sure that's where I want to be buying my lobster. Crab sticks.
Well, and gas station sandwiches in general are a dare. Yeah.
There is nothing based on a dare more than any kind of lobster or crustacean that comes from a gas station.
Or sushi.
Oh, gas station sushi. That, oh, God.
The last one, and I pretty sure my timer went off a while ago, but number 25, Kiwi Burger in New Zealand. Beef, tomato, fried egg, lettuce, which it sounded really good up until this last point. Beetroot.
Ew.
I don't want no beets on my burger.
I don't want no beetroot.
I want no beats anywhere.
No.
Except on my ears.
Anyway, that's
Like
the
headphones.
that is the 25 awesome McDonald's dishes that you can't buy in America, although you can apparently buy some of them in America in certain locations.
Nice. Well, we have several comments on your food list here.
Okay.
Joe says, would you like Indian cheese just in general? No, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Now, Marilyn says paneer is a yogurt-based cheese.
I would eat. That sounds good.
Comes from. Howard says chickpea fritters is a blues singer. so
I know what he says. You got those chickpea fritters.
Becky says ketchup was used as medicine back in the day.
Medicine.
Jim spam, and
eggs. Another Monty Python fan out there.
The rich man's treat.
Derek, the old roller grill of death from the gas station. It is based on a dare.
They're only good when you put that 7-day-old relish and the cheese that's only soft in the middle of each strand. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's shredded cheese, but it's soft in the middle, and then the edges are crispy, or the ends, the handles, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Howard's staying away from any gas station where you can get crabs. So I'm with you there. Totally with you.
I'm assuming that the same gas stations you can buy knockoff colognes and French ticklers. I'm sure that those are the same ones.
French ticklers. Where'd that come from?
1982.
Have you never studied the wall of certain bathrooms back in the? It went into the 90s too.
Yeah. I'm sure there are probably some of those still yet out there.
Get you
Probably still
a
has
vial
that
of
date on it.
Sikkim and a trustworthy French tickler.
Why are we wanting the French to laugh so much? But anyway,
that tickles.
I want to remind you to visit our website, www.playbyyourpodcast.com, where you can find our isms that are up. If you want a glossary of some of these odd things we may say, you can find our glossary of our show on our website, and you can, every time you ask what in the crap are they talking about, you can probably find it there. Actually, I think we added a couple entries this past week, did we not?
Did. Yes, we did. And I forget which one it was, but I remember adding it.
I believe it was Guntry.
It was Guntry. Our mispronunciation for country music. They like the Guntry.
All right, gentlemen. We're now to topic number 3.
Gentlemen, schmiddlemen.
All right, so in the whole New Year's topic thing that Brady did, I'm also going to jump on that little topic bandwagon. And let me get our brand name back up there.
There it is.
All right. So I will take a topic from what are called pod decks. And Travis Brown, again, another podcasting group I am in on Facebook, sold these things called pod decks, which were originally actually cards.
Ooh.
But now they've gone digital, and you can have many of these pod decks on your phone. So what we're going to look at tonight in the honor of New Year's is a series of questions, or I guess they are questions, called The Future Freaks Me Out. So we have looked at the past and what the past had to say about our current present, which obviously when they said it, it was their future. But now we are going to look at the future. And I'm going to ask you several questions. They may be funny. They may not necessarily be funny. But I guess you can answer as you will.
If you will.
Okay, so question number 1, gentlemen. Will virtual reality movies become a thing in the future? And if so, how will you feel about them compared to traditional movies?
If I may opine, when I bought my phone, it was my new phone about 4 years ago. I happened to get a free Oculus VR, and it was the Cadillac of the VR sets at that time where you had to put your phone in and everything. And there was some small movie, and they offered some movies where you could watch it in the format, but it wasn't true VR. There was a couple concerts, and it had some promise, but it just didn't quite. It just wasn't quite practical enough. Now, there are some formats that I've heard VR is good, which we will not get into. But when Facebook bought Oculus and the whole VR thing, I really thought it would be like, but it just never quite took off. And I don't know if it was the technology didn't match up or was too, whatever it was, it just didn't take off like I expected it to. Because think about it. I was like in that Shark Tank thing where you put the VR thing and it looks like you're in a Shark Tank and it makes you feel like you're in a Shark Tank. It's like, oh, this would be great. It just never flew. Worst way.
It seems like we've been hearing about VR for a long, long time now, and it hasn't really broken through, or hasn't. I'm not the most tech savvy person, or I'm not on top of cutting edge technology, but I know that's a term we've been hearing since, for 20 years, and doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. At least, to me, it doesn't.
My thought on a true virtual reality movie, you might miss something. So if it's filmed in true virtual reality, like a horror movie, if you don't look behind you, you don't know it's scaring you.
That's correct.
So are you saying? Yeah.
It's a very good point.
So
that's true. Yeah.
If you miss half the movie because you weren't looking over your shoulder because you were comfortable.
Well, and Josh brings up a good point here. I think it will in some ways, since the movie theater industry has crashed.
True.
And it's possible. We watched Wonder Woman 84 on HBO Max. So, could be some delivery of virtual reality features through a streaming service or something like that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So next question, if we've exhausted that one. And we talked about what my watch can do here. We talked about having an EKG and all that. But what technology will watches have 20 years from now?
What can't they do that we want them to do within reason? Maybe holograms. Like you could hit your watch and your person you're talking to can it's in 3D to in there, in 3D.
Back to the Future 3-ish.
Yeah.
I guess that was 2-ish.
Of course, the holograms would have to. First holograms would have to catch on and be a little more, because it seems like every deceased singer or performer that they've tried to do the hologram thing, it just comes off as creepy. If you've ever watched
the Dio one,
the Dio one, I didn't see I was going to go see the Buddy Holly one. I don't know if it ended up getting canceled because of COVID, but it seems like last year there was going to be a Buddy Holly one. Which I did again. Any videos I've seen, they've been rather creepy.
What makes them creepy? I know what you mean, but
that's a good question. I don't know. And again, I don't know. I don't know if it's because they're dead. You know what I mean? So they somehow look like that they are still dead up there performing. There's something weird about it. I don't know.
It's like a haunting.
It's like a haunting. It's a ghost. Yeah.
Well,
so I think I would be much more freaked out by that if it were not singing a song that were sung by the guy when he was alive, but if he were interacting with me and having an actual conversation, like I was talking to someone who's dead.
AI.
So if Dio comes out and he's like, "We're going to throw you a curveball tonight, guys. we're going to do a Beach Boys tune, and then started singing a song he had never sung before. That would that would be.
Or I would like to welcome Eric Fiskus in the house.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Although I think some people would probably be intrigued by that and maybe pay a lot of money to be a part of that.
Or if he forgot like his go-to move, he's like,
yeah, right.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Dio is the one who, yeah.
So Derek says, "Beam me up, Scott." He said, "Derek, are you saying that the watch will be able to teleport you somewhere? Is that or is that just a general comment? Because teleportation, 20 years in the future, I think it's a little soon for that, but maybe they work toward that. Mm-hmm. Maybe instead of pneumatic tubes, maybe we have teleportation." Who would know?
Why do I have the Tubes in my head? What was the Tubes' big song? She danced?
She's a beauty.
She's a beauty.
Who did and She Danced?
That's the Hooters.
The Hooters.
The Hooters.
Yeah. All right. So next question, if we've exhausted that one. What year will fully interactive robots be for sale to people?
Sooner than later.
Soon.
Yeah. I mean, Apollo Creed had one in Rocky 3, I believe it was. Didn't he have the robot, the maid?
He did.
Yeah.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that we will all be like Apollo Creed within the next 30 years.
Well, I know that in Asia, companionship robots are getting to be a thing. And with the advances in AI and smart technology, this is pretty unsettling and creepy.
And Josh, very good question. Explain fully, as in fully interactive.
Like totally human in action.
Having free will? Is that what we're getting at?
Or respond to non-programmed, like if you throw a tennis ball at it, it can raise its hand and catch it kind of deal.
That's right.
Who stand corrected there.
Yeah, Howard, as soon as I said that, I couldn't remember if I was right or wrong. I stand corrected. Thank you, Howard. He did give it to Polly. I forgot because, it was like
the robot and gave it to Polly for our audio listeners there.
Yeah, I gave it to Polly because, Polly was in love with it. It was a companionship robot for Polly.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe all three of us pride ourselves on having useless knowledge, but I think Howard has us all beat in the useless knowledge category.
So I don't know as far as the robots. That's your boy Dennis DeYoung probably would have something to say about this.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Secret. He's got a secret.
He does have a secret, Mr. Roboto.
It won't be in his lifetime. I don't think that. I think 30 to 35 years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure it'll be that long, to be honest.
So 30 years from now, when we're still doing this podcast, we can check. We can see if we were right.
We'll check that out.
Hey, Roboto, get me a water.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Which will become more popular, iTunes or Spotify 20 years from now?
I'm going to go with an extreme answer. Neither one of them will exist.
Okay. Expand upon
technology that. Technology always morphs. I mean, like MySpace. If somebody asked you 20 years ago, like, which is going to be bigger, MySpace or what was that stuff? Prodigy. Well, what was the one? Oh gosh, what was the first search engine? That
Netscape was the first web browser, right?
Well, there was something. LexisNexis search. Yeah.
Which that still exists, like for legal searches for lawyers use LexisNexis.
Yeah.
If I were going to put money on one of them, I would say iTunes. And what I mean is one of them still existing. I don't necessarily know that means it'll be the most popular, but I would put my money on iTunes still being around.
Because they'll keep the name recognition.
Right.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I mean, how long has it been here already? I mean, iTunes has been here for a long time.
Been 15 years, hasn't it?
15 years at least, yeah.
Since Napster.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, here's an interesting question.
You say Napster and you look out your window, Metallica is looking out your window giving you the stink eye.
Yeah, really.
Lars
is going to break into your house.
Okay, how will the job application process change 20 years from now?
There won't be an application.
There won't be an application?
It'll just be, well, I don't know. I mean, not the traditional application. It'll just be like, it'll all be done via, by then they'll be doing interviews via text message, and I mean, you know, it'll all just get more streamlined and not as personal. Not as up close.
You will download your knowledge onto a thumb drive, and a computer will analyze it, and they will analyze whose downloaded brain best suits the job.
So you would just put your thumb drive of information into a big database, and someone would just call you and say, "You've been chosen for this job. Come on in and go to work."
Yeah. We like the way your brain works, and it'll be stored in your thumb.
I would say
it'll really be a thumb drive,
or your foot toe, your giant toe foot.
Toe foot, not tofu. Toe foot.
Tofu. I could see something like that. I mean, I think there's going to be a deal where when you want a job somewhere, it's going to be you put your name in for it, and before you ever even see them, they're going to know everything they need to know about you. I mean, they're going to, in some way or another, they're going to, if they already.
You'll have a footprint out there.
Yeah, one giant toe-shaped footprint.
Yes,
I'm running with that joke the rest of the night. It's
Did you mean to do that? Run with it?
No.
Yeah, right. Howard and Adam both give us the iTunes release. Yeah, January 9th, 2001. So 20 years ago tomorrow.
Wow.
How timely is that?
Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah, Saturday. That's correct.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the 8th. Okay, Josh says your new watch will transfer the information. There's a connection from our previous question.
Yeah.
All right, Tanya, I've filled out quite a few applications lately. It's really simplified it. Just upload the resume and answer a few questions. That's true.
That's true.
Derek says that database exists already. It's kind of like LinkedIn or Indeed. And that's true, too. I mean, a lot of times you just put your information in one of those two things. And I think, matter of fact, a commercial for Indeed, I think people will call you if you put your information into Indeed. So
Indeed.
Oh.
Yeah, Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah. Joe says no thumb drive. Experience and preferences go to the cloud. You're contacted when there's a match.
Yeah, it'll be a toe drive.
not Toe Jam and Earl, right?
Now there is an old reference.
Yeah, no kidding. That's prior to iTunes, right there.
Don't forget Squeaky and Toe Jam, a feline fame.
Correct. All right. Next question. What unsolved mystery will be solved 20 years from now?
I don't know, but I want Robert Stack to announce it.
Hey, the hologram Robert Stack, since he's
yes,
dead
here you go. Coming out of our watches.
There you go.
Go ahead, Todd. I've got two ideas.
What unsolved mystery will be? Go ahead, Brady. I'll pass it back to you.
D.B. Cooper. I think that will be solved. And I think Jimmy Hoffa.
I mean, Jimmy Hoffa's been 20 years ago already. Or not 20, shoot. 40. 45 years ago.
Yeah.
Man, I can't think.
I figured they'd find him when they tore down Giant Stadium because he was supposedly buried under there.
Yeah, and I really thought he was there, too. I kind of believed that.
Well, Maybe now he's under a parking lot. But
Yeah.
who would know?
Did they look for him? Well,
yeah.
Well,
Did
when
they
they
really
tore
look
down,
for him when they tore down the stadium?
I mean, I can't
I
imagine
think
they
they
delayed the job long enough to look for
I
him.
might be wrong. Didn't they do like sonar? Like they used some kind of like echo tech before they tore it down just to make sure there wasn't any skeletons in there?
Well, I think they have to do that sort of thing anyway, don't they?
I think so.
All right. Howard's mystery is, where do socks go when they disappear in the dryer? that would be a mystery that everyone would like to solve.
Yeah, we will never know that.
Yeah. And he also said, if we go to one digit on the lower leg, will people be searching for big toe and not big foot?
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Josh has COVID-19 release. Could be.
You know me. I don't mean to open up a can of worms here, but it's going to be something. It's going to be something JFK related.
Well, some of those things are getting ready to be declassified, I think.
Well, and they were, if you remember right, they had I believe they had a declassification at some point in the last 10 or 20 years, and it was supposed to be a big to-do, and everything was still like blackened out on everything that was, they still didn't completely declassify things. So,
yeah,
at some point, of course, the longer we go, the less likely it's going to happen, because there's going to be no one left that that was around, or that has relatives that were around, or that even cares, I guess, at some point someday.
So Adam says they looked at a horse farm in Michigan for Hoffa in 2006. Is that like right across the street from the Burger King that Elvis worked at in Kalamazoo?
yeah.
All right. I don't know if Mrs. Wilson's in the room tonight, but I feel like you guys may be pressured into an answer here. But what teacher in your past do you think will have made the biggest impact on your future?
I've got some pretty good. I mean, I think
we were pretty fortunate. We were pretty fortunate. Had a lot of good teachers.
A lot of them. I mean, Mr. Gardner, Lynn Gardner. He's one of the reasons I was a social studies teacher, and Wanda Gurman, and then Miss Wilson. Fostered my say it's okay to be quirky, and encouraged our quirky sense of humor. I still drop French phrases to this day that I didn't even know existed in my head, because Madame Granger, it's still there, and I didn't even realize it.
I'm going to take the very sappy, butt-kiss answer that I'm going to say my mom and dad. I mean,
different kind of teacher there.
Yeah. I mean, I never not liked a teacher. I loved all my teachers, and I have fond memories of most of them. Probably much fonder memories of them than they do of me. But but my mom and dad, my first teacher and my most consistent and constant teacher, and my current teachers, and so I can't help but think that,
There you go, Adam. Good answer.
Eric Fiskus, he was my sub a couple times. I remember that.
I think I was your sub a couple times.
I think you were, which was odd, because we would be hanging out on the weekend and, going to see movies and things like that. And then you guys would be my sub, and I had to pretend like you were authoritarians over me. Yeah. And,
respect my authority.
Other than that sub that called me a wet noodle when I was a Ute, you guys are my favorite subs. You wet noodle.
Yeah, wet noodle. All right, so here's the final question, and this ties into, I'm going to give Todd another opportunity to make a toe joke. Will people still be wearing flip-flops 20 years from now? Why or why not?
Won't do them a damn bit of good. Nowhere to tuck the piece of the leather there that you're the toe thong. Nowhere to tuck the toe thong.
Not if you have one big toe.
Yeah, the part that keeps your toes up again it, but not in it.
Unless you're me.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Eric, I think sometimes you like setting me up to where I'm going to go off on these tangents and run the risk of angering everybody who listens to us. But I hope to God flip-flops are not around. I hope they're not around next week. You know my theory that a grown man should never wear flip-flops or sandals or have his bare feet exposed unless he's at the beach or the swimming pool.
Why did you think I chose this question? Because I know you couldn't help yourself. And I knew you would.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it. I doubt it. There's been, sandals have been around since, mankind. I mean, it's so they will be around and they will be annoying and they will still be unnecessary.
I mean, there could be some practicalities for sandals, like a good hiking sandal, because like if you're hiking through water, your feet will dry out faster.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
He's removed his headphones, folks.
Oh, it's on.
Leaving this podcast. A hiking sandal? Are you shitting me?
Now you've thrown down the gauntlet.
Oh my gosh.
Well, no. I wouldn't do it, but I'm saying for the practicality, because like there's sometimes like when like if you're kayaking or canoeing and you have to forward over some, nobody wants a wet shoe in a sock. So I say hiking, but it has to have some tread where you could get over some rocks, but you want the foot drying capability.
So like the.
So I'm thinking aquatics here.
Yeah. Okay. That's much better. But hiking and sandals should never be. Those two words should never be used together.
Yeah.
It's like saying I had my ass kicking sandals on.
Well, if you just have one big toe,
All right, a couple comments here. Teachers. Jim's teacher was a bitch named Karma. That
at the School of Hard Knocks, James?
There you go. Becky, my choir teacher, Mrs. Kerwin. Now, a couple comments on the sandals. Derek says they will be around, but Crocs are the way of the future. And I guess Josh may be agreeing with that. Now, Adam says Jesus wore sandals. So that tends to think that maybe sandals won't go away. They've been around for
they'll be around
eons. And Jim agrees with you, Todd. No one wants a hiking sandal.
No.
After I defined it, I just chose. I was just saying a sandal with some tread on the bottom of it, so you can get over rocks and carry your cack.
But you. What?
Your kayak. Your kayak.
Kayak.
I'm putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable on purpose.
I was wondering. I thought you had a hairball or something. All right. Derek says, while deployed, we had to wear shower shoes. We used to call them combat flip-flops. Now, Tanya's about practicality for our future bodies, sandals with a pocket for your toe drive. All right. Do we want one more question? I think
sure.
And this will tie back around, and we tied into Brady's past looking at the future thing. Now I'm going to tie into yours, Todd. What will be the most popular sandwich 20 years from now?
PB&J.
Really? I was going to say everything but PB&J, because in the future everybody will have peanut allergies at this rate.
Oh, that's a good point. So peanut butter will be phased out? There'll be no more Reese cups in the world?
Oh. It'll just be some kind of, pardon my use, legume butter.
It'd be Nutella and jelly. Nelly.
Nutella's nuts.
Nugella.
True. Not peanuts, though.
Well, are they peanut allergies, or sometimes they're just in general nut allergies?
Just a nut allergy. Yeah. I don't know. I said PB&J because it stands the test. But
yeah,
burgers. I mean, I think burgers are
regular old burgers.
Just a burger. I mean, you put anything you want on it, but a burger. A burger will be the base. It'll be
sundry types of burgers.
Yeah,
just burgers
or the grilled cheese.
There you go, but not with chili.
No.
Oh,
Only peanut butter with chili or
that's right.
synthetic peanut butter, as Howard says.
Powdered peanut butter.
Christy says there's medical treatment for peanut allergies. I don't know. That's true. Maybe peanut allergies will go the other way and just be extinct.
It could be edited out of our DNA.
There you go. All right, so a little look at the future. According to the host of the Play It By Ear podcast, we may be totally off base. Most likely we are totally off base, but hey, fun to have a look at here on our first podcast of 2021.
Welcome, New Year.
Yes. All right, final little spiel here, gentlemen. Want to...
Eat it for your Nürnberger.
Got to do all these click arounds here. Once again, visit our website at www.playitbyearpodcast.com. You can register for updates on our show. Join our email list, and there's a register link there at the bottom of the homepage there. So sign up. We also encourage you, by the way, and I think Todd alluded to this in the last episode. You can find all of our social media pages there on our website. If you like us on Facebook, like our Facebook page. If you're watching on our different individual pages and the podcast page, I can put everyone's comments up, but sometimes you'll be part of like 4 different conversations if you're watching on 4 different Facebook pages. Please go like our page. We're nearing 500 likes on our page, so certainly would appreciate that if you would. Also subscribe to our YouTube page, which again, you can all find all those links on our website, again at www.playitbyearpodcast.com. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
I don't believe so. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year.
All right. And I want you to join us on next Wednesday. I believe next Wednesday is... check our schedule there. We had originally planned Wednesday this week. Something came up, unfortunately, so we had to go to tonight. But we appreciate you being flexible and joining us tonight. And please join us next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. The audio version of this podcast will be released tomorrow. And thanks to all of you who listened to episode number 6, which is our instant classic this past week. We had another, I believe I checked today, 21 listens. It may be a little bit more than that, but we will do that upon occasion. We'll release some of our older audio podcasts for people who have kind of jumped on board more recently. You may not know about our previous catalog, but those can be found on our website as well. So anything having to do with the show, including the isms, which we mentioned earlier, they can all be found on the website.
I'd like to give a shout out to we know that we had several people that ordered our T-shirts.
Yes.
Our first attempt at getting some product out there, and we want to thank you guys for ordering those. But Mr. Blake Kibler, the other day at our PD day, he had his shirt on, and he looked very good in it. Thank you much, Blake. Yes, it was a very it was the first person I've seen wearing it, so it was very cool to see. So thank you much, Blake.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope to go out very soon, fully outfitted in my T-shirt and my mask.
There you go.
We got to Eric and I got to rock our masks at the Eastern Homecoming Saturday, so we were peddling our wares.
Yes, we did.
Nice.
Had a few people comment. All right. So again, join us next Wednesday, 7 o'clock, and that is it for episode 42. Todd?
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.